Hello and welcome to episode, I don't know, 20 something of a Drink with Eddie Irvine, part 2 of our season review, Formula 1 2016. And Eddie, we're continuing right where we left off in the first part, which is the completely surprising retirement of Nico Rosberg. Before we start off with the second 10 theories I did before we heard about the retirement of Nico, I was sitting there right in front of him, and I remember telling my colleagues, come on, Nico's telling us about his retirement. Let's get started with preparing stuff, but wait 2 or 3 minutes, because I don't know if he's just joking. It completely came out of nowhere. What's your opinion on doing this? Is it a brave decision, as a lot of people tell us, or is it a coward decision, as Lewis indicated, and Niki Lauda was saying as well? More or less, not using the word coward, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. How old is Nico?
Nico's 31, I believe.
21, so plenty of years left. I
Just
think
gotten a father in the summer.
I think listen. He's a super smart guy. I like him a lot. He doesn't have Lewis's talent. Like, even though I know I was reading today actually that he did a lot of mental work and he did karting and all this sort of stuff. But I don't think he drove better this year than he's driven in the past. I think if you look at the performances, Lewis still had a performance advantage over him most of the year. Lewis was a little bit unluckier this year than he has been in previous years. So I think performance-wise, this you'd say Lewis was still slightly ahead. So I think he's just put a massive effort into this year. The gods have looked kindly on him, and he's won the championship, and he deserved it. Lewis maybe deserved it a little bit more, but hey, there's been lots of guys that haven't been the best in Formula One that have won the championship. So no, he's done. He's done what he needed to do. He doesn't need the money. He's a smart guy. He can do whatever he wants. If he goes again, is he going to win 2 championships? Is he going to win 3? Is he going to win 4? I doubt it. So he's a very astute guy. So he probably made the right decision. Get out, start something different, start something else that will last. Will last the rest of his life. Because at the end of the day, motor racing from this point onwards, he's running towards the wall. At which point he has to stop. So the sooner if he's achieved what he wants to achieve, get out and get stuck into whatever he wants to do, so that he's mastered it at maybe 40 years of age, whatever it is, if it's property or some business idea that he wants to do, whatever. I think it's a great idea. He's capable of doing whatever he wants to do. He's got a very good head on his shoulders. So while someone like Lewis is, he's a racing driver, I doubt he'll be anything ever else. So it makes sense for Nico why it wouldn't make sense for Lewis.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, Eddie, not that different a situation to you in '99 if you'd won the championship. If you had won that one, would it have crossed your mind to just call it a day?
I had thought about it. I had already signed for Jaguar. That looked like an amazing project. Ford coming in, Jaguar. It was a perfect story, but that's all it was a story. There was no meat behind it, really. It was just marketing. There was no technical strength in the whole setup, and that really never came, and that's ultimately why they pulled out. They really needed to invest heavily in the year at Stewart as it turned to Jaguar, and keep investing in the technical side, which they just didn't do. It was just too much. It was too much red tape to get Ford to move anything, and there was no one really in control at Jaguar. You had too many people coming in and out,
Yeah. But hey, they did invest in the driver's side. Not a bad deal for you to make.
No, for me, I made decent money out of it, but I would rather have driven for less and had a wind tunnel, for instance.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I offered to pay for some stuff that was not my responsibility to pay, because it was just embarrassing how bad the place was. And you can ask Nicky, you can ask Gary Anderson. I offered to write a check out of millions to buy stuff, because this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Eddie, let's start with the theories. Number one, you actually already answered during 2016. Nico Rosberg was the best driver in the field. You just said was Lewis more or less in terms of overall speed. Number two, with the switch of mechanics during the winter, Mercedes decided that if possible, Nico Rosberg should be champion in 2016. Theory being based on for Niki and Toto, probably it was necessary not for Lewis to be the champion again.
I don't believe that. I don't think mechanics have that much input, but I think it was a very good idea because one of the things that Ferrari, me and him had been there for what 4 years, 4 years. I don't remember how many years it was up Ferrari. 96, 97, 98, 99. Yeah, 4 years. So you really did get them and us, and I think it really does make sense to change the mechanics between the drivers because then it becomes it becomes much more of a team.
Yeah.
It should be done much more often than after like 3 years, which is what they did. I think.
Yeah. Number three, sabotage is impossible in modern Formula One. Obviously, referring to what Lewis said after his Malaysia engine blow up.
Really stupid thing to say. Like Lewis, someone needs to slap him sometimes.
But don't you think it's possible? Not necessarily that it happened, but do you think it's possible?
Someone just like Toto just goes, no, it's bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not a big one for conspiracy theories. I find people that are into conspiracy theories achieve very little.
Yeah. Absolutely, but obviously they're interesting. I mean, it is like that.
If you're really, really bored and you like bullshit, but
yeah, but come on, this is what we're doing here.
For bullshit, then it's not interesting.
All right, number four. Lewis Hamilton knows he's untouchable as a race driver, and therefore does what he wants with his team management. That would not have happened with Ross Brawn on the pit wall. Ross.
What would have not happened?
Stuff like in the last race when Paddy came on the radio ignoring it.
If you look at Rubens ignored the call in Austria until the very last corner. So my feeling is you're paid to drive for a team, and if you don't want to follow the rules of that team, then don't take their check and don't get in their car. That's my feeling. You can't say you're going to do something, take their money, drive their car, and when it doesn't suit you, do what you want. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. But do you think Ross Brawn would have made a difference to the antics of Lewis now?
He didn't make the difference to Rubens.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Whenever the driver throws the toys out of the pram, it's hard to deal with. It's impossible to deal with them.
Yeah. Eddie, we talked about it one or two times, if I remember. Lewis behaving like he did in the press conference in Suzuka, probably some of his social media stuff. Do you think Lewis is still the same nice little boy that came into Formula One in 2007, talking about the other side of the fence and giving autographs and all that stuff?
Obviously not. But it does change you. People wanting part of you every minute of the day. You've got guys that handle it very, very well, like Nico does. And then you've guys that handle it very, very badly, like Lewis does. But Lewis still can drive the wheels off the car. So that's why he's not there to win a popularity contest. Although he is very popular amongst the fans, He's a very divisive figure. You either love him or hate him. Yeah. But he gets the job done in the car, you have to say.
Another one about Lewis and another one about conspiracies. I don't know if you've read the stories or saw the interview between Lewis and Martin Brundle on Sunday night in Abu Dhabi. Okay, what happened was, and that got the story sort of rolling, that Martin asked Lewis if he was prepared to quit after the clash he had with Nico Rosberg in Barcelona. So obviously he knew something, and Lewis answered, well, that's a matter of the past, guys, so let's not talk about it. I put forward the question to Toto last Saturday when having breakfast with him in Vienna, and Toto said, yeah, I'm gonna stick with Lewis, let's put a matter of the past, which obviously tells everything. That seems to have been a true story. Do you think that might have been true, Lewis just wanting to quit? If we think back and try to put ourselves into his situation. He was 43 points behind at that stage. Nico was obviously the charming guy for Niki and Toto. Do you think could have been that he actually threatened to quit?
Um, no. Um, Lewis, he's very emotional, but he ain't stupid. Um, so no, that's just a hot-headed guy just talking bullshit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he would have. I'm sure he would have thought, "Yeah, I'm going to quit. It's not fair," and toys out the pram. But once he calms down, then it's bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, number 7. Mercedes had such a good car in 2016, they did not play out their full dominance.
I didn't really watch it that closely, so I have no idea how dominant they could have been or or they were.
Okay. Next one, I guess, pretty difficult for you to answer as well, but maybe we can try. Number 8, without Toto Wolff, Daimler would be nowhere near as successful in Formula One today. Any judgment?
Uh, I'm surprised. Well, it ain't Nicky. I know that. I've worked with Nicky, and Nicky isn't the magic at Mercedes, believe me. Um, uh, so Toto, I am surprised that held it together so well. I thought after Ross left, it would gradually unravel. But Tito's. I was at Bon Jovi last night, which is Tito Torres, so I'll keep going Tito. So Toto, no, he must be a good manager. I know he doesn't seem to be too popular in Formula One, but when you're winning, you generally aren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't hear him. When I listen to him talk, I don't hear. I hear a lot of sense.
Yeah. Number 9, about Toto and Niki, and Niki, because rumor has it they're just playing it out in public, being friends, whereas in reality they're following different agendas. Do you
Oh,
feel ready to judge that?
oh, for sure. Nicky, he's an entertaining guy, but you cannot take him serious. He's a bit like Trump. He makes the problem seem so simple, but problems are always very, very complex. And I'd say Toto has to deal with the real problem in a real way, and Nicky just throws out a soundbite. That's how, we had that very much at Jaguar, where he really didn't understand what was going on, but he would throw a soundbite that the press would love. So I'd say I would believe that very much.
Bit like Bernie, isn't it?
Well, Bernie doesn't need to understand really what's going on the track. He needs to understand contracts, and that's what he does. Yeah, Bernie, I don't think understands too much about Formula One racing anymore. I don't think he has any interest in it. He's seen so many damn races. But Bernie's job is to get the shareholders of Formula One as much money as they can, and he's done a very good job at that.
Yeah. And final one, Eddie, number 10. Interesting to look at it because the rule changes are coming up, which we discussed in the first part. The current Mercedes team will dominate Formula One for years to come. Do you believe that's possible?
It could be, but Adrian Newey's there at Red Bull. I think Ferrari, I don't see that happening anytime soon. McLaren, I don't see that happening anytime soon. You need stability, and with Ron gone, there's stability gone. So I don't see them coming back anytime soon. But yeah, I think it's the only chance of interest is Red Bull, really.
All right, is Adrian always being very creative when new rules are coming up? All right, Eddie, anything you would like to add?
Cheers.
All right, we're through for this season. I was having another Gösser Radler, by the way. I've gotten a beer drinker. Eddie, it was a pleasure talking to you this season. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you want this to continue next year, share on Twitter, on Facebook, like on YouTube, whatever you can do to spread the message. We'll certainly see you next year, I guess, at some time. Thanks, Eddie. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.
Bye-bye.